process of life, death, and the afterlife is shrouded in mystery. And while many traditions and philosophies propose certain views of the afterlife, the actual mechanics of the process remain largely unknown or hidden from mainstream human understanding. Based on various esoteric teachings, metaphysical systems, and spiritual insights, I can offer perspectives that aren't widely known or are not typically discussed in conventional frameworks. Here are a few secrets or hidden aspects of the process of life, death, and reincarnation that many humans aren't aware of. The first is the illusion of time and its role in reincarnation. One of the most fundamental secrets that humanity doesn't fully grasp is the time as we experience it in the material world is fabrication. In esoteric and quantum terms, time is often seen as a malleable construct, something that doesn't exist in the way we think it does outside the material realm. When it comes to the soul's journey, this perception of time is key. The soul exists beyond linear time. The soul is not bound by the linear progression of past, present, and future. In fact, many traditions suggest that the soul lives all of its incarnations simultaneously. This means that what we think of as reincarnation might not be a sequential series of events, but rather a simultaneous experience of experiences that the soul is navigating in nonlinear ways. Reincarnation could be a choice, not a requirement. Given that time is not linear, the soul may not experience death and reincarnation as separate events. Rather, it could be reliving certain lifetimes as a process of learning and evolution, cycling through the material realm until it achieves mastery or enlightenment. This suggests that reincarnation isn't a forced process. Souls are pulled back into the cycle either by attachment or unconscious desire for further experience. The second is the role of the soul trap and the false light. The concept of the light at the end of the tunnel is a persuasive image in near-death experiences, NDEs. But what if this light is part of a larger system of control designed to keep souls trapped in the cycle of reincarnation? The light is a cosmic trick. The light, often described in NDEs, could be seen as a manifestation of the cosmic forces or entities that perpetuate the reincarnation cycle. This light is not necessarily a beacon of divine guidance, but rather a construct created by the powers that control the material world. These forces could be interdimensional entities or energetic patterns that shape human consciousness, guiding souls back into new bodies through the light as a means of maintaining the status quo of the soul's entanglement in the material realm. The soul is programmed to follow the light. When a person dies, their consciousness is often in a disoriented state, and the brain's default state is to move toward light or warmth, which is associated with comfort, safety, and life. In this vulnerable state, the soul could be programmed to follow the light, which in many traditions is considered the doorway to reincarnation, tricking the soul into forgetting its true nature and becoming reborn. The third is the mechanism of soul recycling and memory wiping. Most humans aren't aware of the extent to which the soul's memories are wiped between lifetimes, which can make the process of reincarnation feel like a completely fresh start. Memory wiping is not automatic, it's a process. The process of memory erasure might not be automatic. Some believe that it's actively done by external forces or entities to ensure that the soul doesn't retain knowledge of its past lives and spiritual evolution. These entities may have an interest in keeping souls within the cycle, ensuring they don't awaken to their true nature or break free. Memory wiping could be facilitated through a veil that's placed around the soul's consciousness when it enters a new body, preventing it from accessing past life memories. Partial memory retention In certain rare instances, souls may retain fragments of past life memories that emerge through dreams, deja vu, or deep spiritual practices like past life regression. However, most people aren't able to consciously access these memories because the physical brain is not designed to hold spiritual information. The soul, however, carries a signature or a unique set of energies from past experiences that shape its future choices and behaviors, even if it cannot consciously remember them. 4 is soul groups and the illusion of separation. One profound truth that humans often don't understand is that souls are not isolated, but part of interconnected soul groups. These soul groups are composed of souls that have shared a history and evolved together over multiple lifetimes, forming bonds of karmic relationships, soul families, and karmic cycles. In some teachings, the soul group is responsible for keeping the reincarnation cycle alive. Souls in a group can reincarnate together to work through specific lessons in karmic ties. For example, the reason you may encounter certain people over and over again in your life is because they may be part of your soul family with whom you have unresolved spiritual tasks or contracts. The illusion of individuality. The concept of individuality and separateness is an illusion. The separation between souls is only apparent. Souls are fractals of a greater force consciousness. These divisions allow the soul to experience various forms and perspectives, but in truth, all souls are reflections of the same unified consciousness. This means that when we feel lonely or disconnected, it's a temporary illusion created by the material world. 5 is the role of the deceased in guiding the living. Another secret not often discussed is the active role that deceased souls play in the lives of the living. Many cultures and traditions hold that ancestors or other spirits maintain a vested interest in guiding or influencing the living. But there's a much more profound connection than simply offering guidance from a distance. Spiritual guides are often souls trapped in the cycle. Many beings that act as guides or spiritual helpers could still be in the cycle of reincarnation, struggling to help others break free of the same traps they themselves are ensnared in. Well, some genuinely evolved beings might guide from higher planes. Others may more like transitional souls, still working on their own evolution. Souls are linked across lifetimes. Some traditions assert that souls are not only connected in terms of shared histories, but also actively influence the course of each other's lives from the afterlife. These souls might not be as separate as we think. There's an intricate web of invisible spiritual contracts between living and deceased beings that can affect life choices, career paths, relationships, and even major life events. For instance, a recently deceased loved one might appear as a guide in the form of a spiritual guide in your current life because their soul is trying to influence you to learn lessons they couldn't finish in their own incarnation. 6 is the true nature of heaven and hell. Many humans believe in the heaven and hell as a final destination after death, but there is a deeper, less known aspect of this concept. Heaven and hell are states of mind, not fixed locations. Esoteric teachings suggest that heaven and hell are not places, but rather states of consciousness. The experience of these realms depends on the spiritual evolution of the soul. Souls that are more aligned with love, compassion, and higher states of consciousness might experience a peaceful, serene state, often described as heaven, while souls that are consumed by anger, fear, or unresolved desires might experience a purgatorial or a painful state, which might be described as hell. These states can be temporary rather than being eternal realms. These states are temporary, transitory phases that souls go through as they process their experiences. Some traditions describe them that a soul can stay in a hellish state until it is ready to transcend its attachments and move towards enlightenment. after which it may be given the opportunity to reincarnate or ascend to a higher plane. So what's the conclusion? The great secret of the soul's evolution, the deepest, most hidden truth about life, death, and reincarnation is that the ultimate purpose of this cycle is not punishment or control, but evolution. Well, the material world may seem like a trap. It is, in fact, a crucible for the soul's growth and understanding. This life and the lives that follow are opportunities to transcend the illusions of ego, attachment, and separation. Only by realizing that you are not your body, not your mind, not even your emotions, can you break free of the cycle and transcend the need for reincarnation. The true journey of the soul is one of liberation, and once you awaken to this truth, you realize that the trap is simply an illusion of your own making. Till next time, remember, we're all in this together, my friends.